what does it mean teaching the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because our understanding is to make him how to read it, and going a step forward, making mahafidh of Quran, memorization of surah, and everything else. But unfortunately, the Quran has become the source of only, or has been confined to the recitations only. Because the Quran is a message, it's a way of life. And this is why, when we talk about the third point that Umar has mentioned, radiallahu anhu, it is well connected with this second point. When we talk about the third point, it is well connected with this second point, and we talked about this last week, about these three main responsibility that as a parent we owe to our children. Number one, to give him a good name, and we talked about that last week. Number two, to give him the teachings of Kitab, Quran, the book of Allah, and the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, I'm not here to judge people that how great they are in their recitation or how great they are in regards to the knowledge of Quran. But every individual, he is a judge to his own self or to her own self. That how much of that we are implementing into our life, and then considering it to be multiplied into our children and onwards to our grandchildren. Recitation, understanding, implementing the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to think, and this is a great opportunity because the month of Ramadan is coming very near, to let's revive this in our heart, that this is something that we have to put time to. This is something that we have to put our dedicate our abilities towards. Because everything else in the world, we're not satisfied until it's perfection. We're not satisfied until it's perfection. So when you go for an education, you want it to be the best. You ask, Sheikh, please make dua that my child gets accepted in Berkeley. Or you make dua that my child is accepted in Harvard or any other type of great universities. Why? Because you want the best education to be given to your child, and which is good, which is awesome. That you want the best education to be given to your child, that's a concern of a parent. And many parents, if you have that parent, you should be thankful. But as we are so concerned about the perfection of their education, which is concerned and which is connected with their worldly affairs, we should be more concerned about their Islamic education. And I'm talking about Islamic education which is given in the home, in the house. Because what we think is sending them to Islamic school, no more responsibility on my shoulder. Sending him into a Sunday school on a weekly basis, I don't have any more responsibility on my shoulder or anything else. This is on a daily basis. On a daily basis what the child sees. And the amount that you have dedicated your time for understanding deen, understanding religion. And in fact, we ourselves, and may Allah forgive us for this, when it comes to the matter of learning, we automatically assume that I already know. When it comes to the matter of religion. And many of times, when we attend those workshops and classes, we understand that, I've been doing it for the past 30 years of my life, and I didn't know this is how it's supposed to be done. We automatically assume, when it comes to the matter of religion, because number one, we are born in a Muslim house, and majority of us are immigrant, migrated from those countries which are known to be Muslim countries. So whatever we learn on the streets, with the friends, with the family, with grandfather or grandmother and everything else. We've just picked up that as a habit of our life and we moved on. And then that practice carried on. We never brushed it up. We never looked into it. We never perfected. We never thought about fixing it. Because we've already had that assumption that I already know. I already know this, so why do I have to spend time on this? I already know this, why do I have to go and learn it? The great example is when we announced last week about the workshop that has been conducted in this month for the preparation of Ramadan and everything else. We can ask to ourselves that how many people even showed interest of coming and how many even showed up. Because we already, I've been fasting for 30 years, so I don't need to learn about fasting. But let me tell you this, there was a participant last week who came up to me and he said, I never knew that this is part of fasting, even though I've been fasting for the past 20 years of my life. So until you don't expose yourself to education, you don't know the ignorance that lies inside you. Until you don't expose yourself to education, you don't know what ignorance lies inside you.